It began with a single photograph, one moment captured in the blur of flashing cameras at a London film event. Sam Heughan, dressed in a sharp black suit, stood chatting and laughing with global star Priyanka Chopra. The picture, innocent on its own, spread like wildfire across the internet within hours. By morning, headlines screamed across entertainment outlets. New romance in the making? Sam Heughan and Priyanka Chopra spotted together in London. What had been nothing more than a brief, friendly exchange between two professionals was suddenly transformed into the latest celebrity love story. Social media exploded. Fan pages, gossip sites, and online tabloids all jumped in, weaving narratives that grew wilder by the minute. One outlet claimed the two had met several times privately. Another suggested a secret dinner in Mayfair. Hashtags like #Sam and Priyanka, #New Power Couple, and #Heughan Chopra began trending across Twitter and Instagram. For Sam Heughan, who had just wrapped a grueling run of Macbeth and was enjoying a brief moment of calm, the sudden chaos came as a shock. The Scottish actor, long admired for his privacy and grace under public scrutiny, found his name once again at the center of a story he hadn't written. At first, he stayed silent. His fans were used to that. Sam rarely reacted to rumors. But this one was different. Within a day, major publications from Hollywood to Mumbai had picked it up, framing it as a cross-continental romance. Priyanka Chopra's team also received a wave of inquiries. The actress, married to musician Nick Jonas, was reportedly amused but frustrated by the story. And while her silence was diplomatic, the media frenzy refused to slow down. A tabloid from London even went as far as publishing a speculative headline. Sam Heughan swept off his feet by Priyanka Chopra after Macbeth's success? That was the breaking point. On the evening of the third day, Sam decided to speak. He opened his social media app, the same one where his fans had been tagging him non-stop for 72 hours. And then, with characteristic calm and precision, he posted a message that stopped the internet in its tracks. I have the utmost respect for Priyanka. She's a phenomenal talent, a kind person, and a true professional. But these rumors are completely false. Please let's be mindful. Not everything we see or hear deserves to be a headline. No emojis, no extra flair, just clarity and class. Within minutes, the post spread across every major outlet. Sam Heughan responds to Priyanka Chopra dating rumors, wrote People magazine. E-News headlined, Heughan shuts down romance speculation with grace. Fans flooded his comments with support. This is why we love you, Sam. Always classy. He didn't just deny the rumor, he educated people about respect. But the calm tone of his message hid what many overlooked. This wasn't the first time Sam had been pulled into rumors. For years, his fame, charisma, and on-screen chemistry with co-stars had made him a target for tabloid fantasies. From Outlander to Macbeth, every woman he stood beside seemed to become the one, according to some headline. And yet, through it all, Sam had always handled speculation the same way, quietly, firmly, without anger. A close friend later told The Scotsman, Sam doesn't believe in feeding gossip. He's old-fashioned that way. He believes truth doesn't need to shout. Still, this particular rumor felt different, not just because it involved another high-profile celebrity, but because it crossed boundaries. Priyanka Chopra is a married woman, and Sam's name being attached to hers risked unfairly disrespecting both her marriage and his reputation. So when he spoke, his words carried more than denial, they carried a reminder. Rumors can hurt people who don't deserve it, he wrote in a follow-up story post later that night. It's easy to forget there are real lives behind the headlines. Please, let's be kind. That message, simple yet powerful, instantly struck a chord. Fans began reposting it with the hashtag respect for Sam Heughan, turning the narrative from gossip into a conversation about dignity and privacy. Even journalists praised his restraint. The Independent called it a masterclass in how to handle rumors without malice or arrogance. Meanwhile, Priyanka's own quiet acknowledgement came hours later. She reposted a quote to her story. "Dignity is when you can stay silent under falsehood." With a white heart emoji. To those paying attention, it was clear. Both stars had chosen the high road. By the next morning, the frenzy had started to die down. The hashtags that once screamed scandal were now filled with praise. Comments shifted from speculation to admiration. "This is how professionals handle nonsense," one fan wrote. Sam and Priyanka showed that grace still exists in Hollywood. It was over, not with an argument, not with anger, but with elegance. And as the world moved on to its next headline, one truth remained crystal clear. Sam Heughan hadn't just shut down a rumor. He'd shut it down with respect, class, and the kind of composure that only comes from knowing exactly who you are. But what happened after his post, the reactions from Hollywood, Priyanka herself, and the global media, would prove that his statement didn't just silence gossip. It set a new standard for how to handle it. Within hours of Sam Heughan's post, the tone of the conversation across the internet changed entirely. What had begun as a whirlwind of gossip and speculation quickly turned into an outpouring of admiration, not just for what he said, but how he said it. The rumor had died, but the respect had only grown. Major entertainment outlets began publishing think pieces praising his response. Vanity Fair called it a rare moment of grace in celebrity culture. The Guardian wrote, "In an age of online outrage, Sam Heughan reminds us that silence is powerful, but clarity, when spoken with kindness, is even stronger." Fans around the world echoed the sentiment. The hashtag respect for Sam Heughan climbed into the top 10 on X, shared by thousands who applauded the actor's maturity. One viral tweet read, "He didn't deny with anger. He corrected with empathy. That's class." Others shared screenshots of his post alongside quotes from Outlander, writing captions like, "Jamie Fraser would be proud." While most celebrities might have lashed out or ignored the gossip, Sam's carefully chosen words showed a balance of strength and compassion, a reflection of the man behind the fame. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Priyanka Chopra's team reportedly reached out to Sam to thank him for his statement. A source close to the actress told Entertainment Weekly. Priyanka was incredibly grateful for how he handled it. He didn't just protect his own name, he protected hers too. Hours later, Priyanka herself posted to her Instagram story a message that seemed to address the situation directly. Against a black background, it read, "Real recognizes real. Thank you, my friend." She added a simple white heart emoji and tagged Sam. That was all it took to close the loop. Fans of both stars shared the story widely, celebrating how two of the industry's most respected figures had handled a potential PR nightmare with nothing but grace and mutual respect. But beyond the headlines, Sam's words carried a deeper message about the world he'd spent decades navigating, one where privacy was rare, and rumors could destroy reputations overnight. In an interview the following week, Sam was asked about his decision to respond so directly. Sitting back in his chair, he smiled lightly and said, "You know, I've learned that silence can sometimes be misunderstood. But kindness never is. I don't want to fight rumors. I just want to remind people there are real humans behind them." The audience in the studio applauded. The interviewer nodded and replied, "That's not something we hear very often in this business." Sam laughed softly. "Maybe we should." The clip went viral almost immediately. Fans stitched it with moments of Sam helping fans at conventions, hugging co-stars, and signing autographs. The caption read, "He's not just acting the gentleman, he is one." As the days passed, what had started as a scandal transformed into something unexpectedly wholesome. Media commentators began using Sam's response as an example of how celebrities could navigate false stories responsibly. A journalist from BBC Entertainment remarked, "Heughan didn't react to protect his image. He reacted to protect dignity, his, and someone else's." That distinction struck a chord. Even fans of Priyanka Chopra, who initially feared the rumors might cause tension in her marriage, praised Sam's maturity. One fan wrote on Reddit, "The way he spoke about her, respectful, not defensive, shows the kind of man he is." In the midst of it all, Sam continued to go about his work quietly. He posted behind-the-scenes photos from Macbeth, shared updates about his charity initiatives, and never once mentioned the rumor again. But the message he left behind lingered. It wasn't just a denial. It was a reminder of what professionalism and integrity look like in a world that thrives on noise. A week later, during a red carpet appearance in Edinburgh, a reporter shouted over the crowd, asking him how he felt about ending one of the biggest rumors of the year. Sam smiled faintly, adjusted his jacket, and replied, "Oh, I didn't end anything. The truth did." The crowd laughed softly, and he walked away, leaving that quote to ripple across social media once more. In the end, what could have been a messy, tabloid-fueled scandal became a story of respect, two people choosing honesty over drama, class over chaos. As one entertainment columnist beautifully summarized, Sam Heughan didn't just shut down a rumor. He reminded Hollywood that you can defend your truth without tearing anyone else down. And perhaps that was the real takeaway. Because in a world obsessed with clicks, whispers, and gossip, Sam Heughan did something revolutionary. He stayed kind, he stayed calm, and he stayed true. And for millions of fans watching from around the world, that quiet strength spoke louder than any rumor ever could.